Okay, we'll try this again. I recorded one of these moments ago, but the video on it was really poor quality, so I've switched into a HQ mode in 4:3 rather than 16 by 9, and we'll see if it comes out any better this time. Anyway, this is a video to tell you how to broadcast on worldtruth.org and reallibertymedia.com radio. So it's pretty simple. Anyway, we're going to try and step through it as best as we possibly can. All right, first thing you need to have is a stereo mix capable sound card. My laptop here, my Asus N53S laptop, has a built-in Realtek high definition audio sound card with stereo mix in it. Now, if I click on this, bring up the properties of that particular card, you can see if you go to the levels tab on this, there is two audio level sliders. One is for the output, one is for the microphone, which this is a recording of the volume coming in via the microphone. It's not an actual output there, although it is on the output side. And if you go to the recording tab here, you will see I have a whole bunch of devices, but the one I use to record on is the stereo mix. And there's only one level switch or slider on that, and you can move that to wherever makes your sound best, where you're not going to overdrive your output sounds there. So you'll have to play with that a little bit till you get the right levels, but it all works out very nicely once you get everything set up. Okay, now once you got that set up and configured properly, which shouldn't be that difficult to do, you just set your default device there. For mine, I don't have my playback set that way at this point in time because I don't need it to be, because the way my other settings are. Now, if you want to use the Sam's broadcasting tool, I guess that's the best way to say that. Sam's broadcasting tool. Let me show you how this works. Okay. On the Sam's broadcaster, the main window here for this. Zoop. Okay. You got a bunch of different little windows, little plug-in applets on this. The one you're interested in here is encoders. This is the main window where you set up your various encoding capabilities. Let me zero in on that for you. Okay, on this, you can see you got a level meter here. This level meter will let you, regardless of where you're getting sound from, via that sound card, it's going to come through right here on this meter, because you've got everything set up to go through your stereo mix. On mine, on this particular setup, I have 3 different encoders set up. One is for Real Liberty Media, one is for worldtruth.org, and one is for Spreaker.com. The Real Liberty Media and the World Truth are basically set up the same. Only difference is the port number and the user account name and password. So if you bring up the properties of that little window there, I should probably widen that out a little bit so you can see a little better what's going on there on that. Alright, so there you go. So you have 4 tabs, or three tabs on the main encoder configuration window. First one is the converter. What do you want it to convert your audio to? The voice you're speaking has to be converted and encoded into something for your server to understand it. I use high quality 128 kbits, 44.1 kilohertz stereo audio. And on the server details, this is the important one that connects you over to your server. On both worldtruth.org and Real Liberty Media, they are Shoutcast version 1 servers. You put in the server IP, you put in the port number, you put in the password. You don't have to worry about your account name on here. Am I right? I'm not right. I'll bet you I'm not right. I gotta say, let me try and connect here. Yeah, no, I'm not right. I have to put in my password and the account name on that. So let me do that right now. I could do that right here while I'm talking to you. Let me slide this back over here. All right. And you put in your account name and a colon and your password. It all goes in the same field. I thought that looked funny, a little short there. Anyway, so there's that. And now if I click start on that one, it is now streaming over there. So I could stop that. Okay, great. So anyway, you set one up for each of the servers you're connecting to. As I said in my case here, I'm using worldtruth.org, Real Liberty Media, which is this one, 5936. Not that that's matters. It's going to change when I'm done with this. So anyway, Real Liberty Media, worldtruth.org, and then the tricky one, the Spreaker broadcast. Spreaker has got a whole different setup for you, and if you look at the server details on the Spreaker setup, you have to broadcast via Icecast. It's got to be Icecast version 2. They've got a server IP setup, port setup over there, and the password is the password you use to log into Spreaker with. You have to also set up this mount point, which you don't do on the Shoutcast server, and then you can put in other information here on the other side that is applicable to your setup. Okay, so once that's all set up, if you need to know the details on the Spreaker setup, you would go to Spreaker.com, and then you would go to /broadcast/tube, and you would find this information right here. Tells you how to set up your broadcast, how to set up your encoder. So you put that in there. It's an Icecast 2. It's all this other information that you need. Very good like that. Okay, so there's that. Then, what do you need? Then, I don't think you really need anything else, but if you want to use also a recorder, I use Audacity myself personally for recording locally, a local version, a local copy. You know, you never know. Something could happen on your connection while you're broadcasting. Spreaker automatically broadcasts for you. The Shoutcast servers do not. So if you want to broadcast a copy of that to use for a podcast later on that you can upload to a server wherever you want, then you want to go ahead and record locally. I use Audacity, and on my Audacity, I click the pause, and then I click the record button, and that gives you your level meters here. You can see where your levels are at. And when you're ready to record, you just unclick the pause button. And anytime during your broadcast, you're allowed to just pause that, and it'll take out, like, say you're going to play a commercial or some music or whatever that you don't want included in your podcast. Hit pause, and then you can keep on going after that. And once you're finally done with everything, you would go ahead and hit the stop button, and it would save your recording right here, but you would still have to go and export it from the menu and export it to an MP3 format. This is not really about the broadcasting part. This is about recording it so that you have it for archival usage. All right, so once you have all that, you come back over here to your Sam's Broadcaster interface, and when you're ready to record, you're ready to broadcast, you're ready to go, you can do one of two things here on this. You can either start each encoder individually, which for my purposes I would do, because I can start my Shoutcasts prior to starting my Spreaker, because Spreaker starts recording as soon as you tell it to go. So unless you got everything else set prior to going on live, then you might want to wait on this. And for the Shoutcast through the auto DJ setup, there's a 30 to 40 second delay before what you're saying comes out online live. So I do a little pre-show setup before I actually am live on there. But assuming You wanted to do each one individually, you could just highlight one and click the start button for each one. Or you could go to this menu option right here, scroll on down and say start all. And that would start them all out there broadcasting, and your Spreaker would start recording right away. And once you can either start your recording on your Audacity at the same time, or within seconds after that. I mean, once you're done with everything, you could go ahead and stop them all at the same time. No problem with that. That works just fine. I use Winamp for most of my broadcasting. I don't use Sam's, but Sam's is a very handy tool. It's got a lot of good features and functions in it. Let me just show you two, in case you were wondering, hey, how do I set my voice? Well, you don't. You don't have to. I don't use it. It's not a function that's required with the setup that I have. Now, supposing you were going to be saying, well, I'm going to be playing songs and talking in between. And I've been commonly used to using this microphone setup here. Well, if you got a mute button on your microphone, then use your mute button on your microphone. If you don't, go over here. Oh, not here. Oh, yeah, here. Here? I don't know. Where's my configuration out here? That's probably the wrong place to go. You have to go into your mixer and mute your microphone there on that. But other than that, I think that's pretty much covers it. I think that pretty much everything. So have fun. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.